We're going to do uncut reactions as like a cheap Patreon tier now. Any reaction we do ever, uncut. We usually record for like 10 to 15 minutes for one music video, but I edit down like to half of that.
Yeah, you edit down all of me talking
There's going to be maybe like a $3.50 tier, something around there for that if you want to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
All right, guys, podcast number 59 with Mama.
What's up, people?
I'm at her house in Virginia.
That's right. For the first time.
Yes, you just moved here. How long ago?
May.
Wow, it's been 7 months.
Yeah.
That's quick.
We sold the house in Maryland in April, and in 2 days, hot sale.
I told
Market.
you. I told you it was going to do that. You were all worried.
Shoot, I was worried, but we did the ultimate no. You're not supposed to sign a lease on a rental until you sell your house.
You did that?
Yeah, we signed a lease on this biatch.
Damn, that's
well.
scary.
The reason is because the market was so crazy. So if you didn't have a place to live, and put all your stuff. And storage facilities were booking up, and there was all kinds of crazy shit going on.
Damn.
So we had to do it. And so, Mr., my other half, Wendell, who's like Mr. Conservative, even did it. He's like, sign it. Let's do it. Because we needed a place to live. So it was something we mutually agreed on. But that's why we landed just outside of Richmond, because there was nothing around Southern Maryland. People are like, why'd you move so far away? You asked me that.
Yeah.
But there was just no
nothing
rentals.
There's still nothing. I checked.
And you were looking.
Yeah, I checked for you before, but not recently when you were moving.
It's crazy.
I checked recently, though, like this week for Maryland, just to look, and there's no rentals in Southern Maryland, like houses.
Yeah,
Zero.
and we have all that like garage shed stuff, so we had to find a house that had like a 2-car garage.
There's townhouses, but they're like $3,000 a month, like a nice townhouse.
Yeah.
One of the nicer ones that just got built in Waldorf. Yeah.
So obviously we could not do that.
And it's just a 1-car garage.
Yeah, we needed space, and as it is, we have kayaks on the back porch.
This is a big house too.
Yeah,
for a rental. Like, this is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice. It's great, and it's a nice community. So we're happy to be here until we get the house built in North Carolina. Then we're going to be in North Carolina.
All right.
For the rest of the time on this earth. However long that would be. Long time. I'm going to be granny out there on the pier fishing. Catching fish. Wendell and I will be on the pier. Catching fish and kayaking.
I've never seen you in a kayak.
It's on my Twitter.
Really?
Yeah,
I meant in person, but...
Oh, in person, yeah.
Like, I didn't even know you did something like that.
Yeah. I've never had one until...
you tweeted something.
Look, that's my...
Oh, my God. It's your Twitter header.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll just put it on the
camera?
screen.
There we go. Hobies, they have pedals in them. They're pedal driven, so you can pedal. So we figured we needed that extra exercise as you get old. So you pedal in them. Hobies, you pedal, and then you also have a paddle. So if you need to maneuver, they're super cool. When you come to North Carolina, we'll be dropping the kayaks in the water, and you can hop in one and pedal away. It's really cool.
I went in this
Have you ever kayaked?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's a very cool feeling because you're so flat.
What if you
to
flip
the water.
over?
You just hop back in. You got a damn life jacket on. What are you talking about? You're talking about Willis.
I went to like this park called Lake Balboa in Van Nuys in LA. Yeah. Have you heard of it or no?
Yeah, I have.
And they have like little like geese or like huge, like it's like a pedaling boat.
Like a paddle boat.
No, it's like it sits like 3 people.
Yeah,
you have to push, I think, or like pedal like a bike.
Yeah, we've got a park near us, Pocahontas Park here in Virginia, near where we live.
I thought you
and they
meant
have paddle. It's called paddle boats, and you sit in a seat and you pedal your feet. They have them down in Washington, D.C.
I didn't know that's what they were called.
Paddle.
I thought you were talking about the things that
Those are rowing,
Holy
kayak,
shit.
canoe. What's wrong?
What? I don't do
You
water
missed
sports.
the boat. Ha ha ha.
I don't do water sports.
Well, I think you'll love it. When people kayak, I mean, I forgot to turn my phone off. When you kayak, you are sitting down in the water, like right aligned with the water. It's just a cool feeling. I think you'll fall in love with it. It's really cool. I mean, you know how to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
I'll be fine. I was just like bitching about if it fell over or not.
You get wet?
Yeah. I was just being a bitch.
And you just crawl back in?
Yeah.
The cool thing is there are dolphins all around where we live. So our new neighbors to be, she was in her kayak one day and dolphins were just swimming all around her kayak like this, right real close to her.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who's building the pier, he said he saw dolphins right out in front of our pier.
Damn.
Yeah, it's going to be
like
very
a lot or once or twice?
Yeah, he saw him a couple times. And then the neighbor who is going to be our neighbor like half a mile away, we don't have any close neighbors. She was out there. I mean, she's all of like 4'8", little teeny woman in a kayak. And she said dolphins were just like jumping all around.
That's cool.
So very cool. The benefits.
Yeah. It's illegal to kill a dolphin, right?
Oh, who would do... Yes, he said. Wendell said yes.
These beautiful creatures.
Why would you do that? Who would do that? That's bad.
Fuckers go to Africa and kill the elephants and shit.
Stupid asses.
I know who does that.
Oh, I know who goes to Africa and does. I don't care. I mean, they're dumbasses for doing that. Giraffes and mounting them, stupid. Stupid. Yeah, I'm not supposed to give my personal opinion on stuff on podcast. I can't say I think giraffe or
no, that's fine.
Elephant hunting is stupid.
That's perfectly fine. I've said, come on, we talk about anything on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know, too much.
Hold on, I was going to ask you before that. Go ahead and tell the people where you grew up.
Grew up in PG.
People probably don't really know this little
Prince
stuff.
George's County. Whoop whoop DMV.
So
I actually,
Prince George's County, Maryland.
You know what's so freaking crazy though? My parents mom was only 19 when she had me and dad was 20. They got married when they were 18 and 19. And then by the time I was born, they were 19 and 20. And they actually lived in Hampton, Virginia. Whoa. That's where I lived for the first 2 years of my life. And here I am back near Hampton, Virginia.
I never knew that. You never told me that.
Yeah, well, I mean, would you care?
No,
would you have cared?
I was just saying I never knew that.
Yeah. So I lived there as a baby. And then because my dad was a state trooper, your grandfather, he went into the police academy. And then he worked his first beat out of Forestville, Maryland, good old PG County. And we lived in Forestville in an apartment. And since he made no money, like $8,000 a year, hardly any money. Back in the day.
I was about to say the time frame.
No. So we actually lived rent free because he patrolled the community and he acted as a security guard. So we lived rent free. What's shining on my neck? What is that?
What is that?
Shining on my neck? Where is that? Is that light? The hell?
No, it's sun, I think. It's the sun's from
somewhere. Oh, close that curtain.
Oh, it's the curtain. Yeah, close that.
It's like all of a sudden my neck, all my wrinkles are going to be showing on my neck. Oh, thank God. What the hell was that? I was like,
that is so funny. Her most insecure area.
My neck, my old... I could
most
go for a little
area just being shined of light.
Yeah, shining light on all the things. Yeah. I do want to address one thing.
Oh, here we go.
No, because people say, and I'm going to just tell them.
What?
They say, what's wrong with your mother's eyebrow? Like, what's up with her eyebrows? All right, so let me just...
I've literally only seen that like once or twice in 5 years.
I'm just going to freaking tell them. So what happened when I was in high school, it was the vibe to pluck your eyebrows in a thin, little, happy, upside down smiley face, like a little line. So you pluck, 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 and they don't grow back. And so as I got older, for some reason, when sometimes women's eyebrows start to thin out and they don't grow back. And then they freaking get gray. And what you have is gray. So it's all effed up. It's just a cluster. It's just a bad, bad scene. So I went to a person and she did eyebrow tattooing or whatever. And I looked her up. She was in Bougie, McLean, Virginia, and whatever. And
Bougie?
Bougie, McLean. Yeah, that's right near.
That's the name of the city.
McLean, Virginia.
Oh,
yeah.
why is McLean bougie?
Because it's near the CIA. There's big money in McLean, Virginia.
I didn't know it was like a rich area.
Oh, hell yeah.
I had no idea.
I mean,
I knew Dad worked there, but I didn't know it was a rich area.
Yeah, no. It's very rich. So I looked up and I researched and I went and got it done. So that's it. And I'm in a correction phase now because I found a new person and she's trying to fix them up a little bit. So I just pencil and have them tattooed. So there's your answer.
Shit? No one cares
who gives
about
a shit?
YouTube comments.
I know.
The negative
Anyway,
YouTube comments.
so where I grew up, let's rewind back to that. So Forestville, and then Dad.
He was a security guard, and
he wasn't a security guard.
Well, he like
state trooper, and then they gave him his rent for free. That's the apartment complex that your aunt and uncle snuck out of when they were 2. And the whole freaking police.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. So they were probably like almost 2 years old, somewhere around there. 3, 4, 5. And I was like 5. I was 3 years older than them. And they were they're twins.
Yeah.
So they somehow we were in an apartment on the 3rd floor, and they pushed something up to the front door, unchained it, because back in the day you had them chains. Do you still have those in apartments? No.
Maybe the older style ones.
So they unchained it, and
no, it's all electronic and newer ones. But,
They crawled downstairs, like cement stairs that had like openings, all the way down the stairs together. The 2 of them went all the way down, went down across the parking lot. So there were levels of apartment level here, and then another line here, and another line here, and we were at the very back. So they crawled all the way down to the next apartment that looked like ours and crawled all the way up those stairs, and they found them. So I don't remember the dynamics. My mom got up and they were missing. Of course, they probably thought I freaking did something to them. I don't remember. I was only 5. So I had to call the police. My dad wasn't home. He was on duty somewhere.
So she started panicking or something?
So my mom called my dad. My dad had to call the state police, and they went on a manhunt, search, kid hunt, baby hunt for your aunt and uncle.
I didn't know
Crazy.
This happened.
Yes.
No one ever told me that.
Well, Cameron, I mean, sometimes stories, when you're little,
That's
might have heard
fucking
it.
funny.
It's hysterical. So Mom was crying, couldn't find the kids. Finally somebody found them. Your brother, your aunt and uncle, my brother and sister, yeah.
What?
Yes, but I can see where they thought that I might have done something, because evidently it's the family joke.
I know you were a little shit.
Well, they spoiled me.
You said you want to throw them in the trash.
I want to throw my brother and sister in the trash.
That's
so
good
when
shit.
they came up missing,
yeah,
what do you think they thought? They probably thought Tammy shoved their bitch's ass down a garbage disposal or something.
Can you imagine?
They probably went and looked in the tub to see, I was like, damn. Now, I don't know why I said that, but I love them now. So.
Okay, so what did you do? Tell the people what you did after, like, high school time. Like, when you graduated, what did you do?
So, when I had posters all over my room when I was a kid of, like, France and everything. I took 4 years of French. I don't know anything, hardly. It's really bad. Kind of same with you with Spanish.
I took 2 years of Spanish. I don't remember a damn thing.
But I wanted to travel.
I took 4 years. Doesn't remember anything.
If I read one of the books, the little books that they give you in class, I might be able to get back some memories. I would love to speak French again. I wanted to travel the world. So what I did was I went to FROSTBURG for a year, FROSTBURG State College for a year. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, I was on a student loan because mom and dad had no money.
Yeah.
They were living on just
normal little salaries.
Dad, state police, which is nothing. Your grandmother worked for the government. So they weren't making a shit ton of money. So I had a student loan, and I was like, gosh, I don't really know what I want to do. Does this make sense for me to rack up this loan?
Yeah.
So I decided, no, I'm going to go home, and I went to PG Community
Wait,
College.
how long were you at Frostburg then?
1 year.
Oh, okay.
It was cool. It was a party school. Toga parties.
Did you fail?
Oh, hell no. I didn't fail. No. I did not fail. Now,
Okay,
your
I was making
uncle
sure.
had,
I know
he had a little go round up there. But anyways.
You went home, and what happened?
I went home, went to PG Community College. I was like, I don't think college is for me. I still had that. I wanted to travel. So I ended up getting, doing that for like 2 years and waitressing and making money and doing stuff like that. Because I always had to work while I was in college or work when I was in high school. That was the rule. That's kind of why I put that rule on you guys. If I wanted to drive anywhere when I was in high school, I'd have
once the car
money.
came in the picture, you said you have to get a fucking job. Pay that $100 a month.
I didn't say it like that. I said, Cameron, you need to get a job because you got to start paying for car insurance.
It was $100 a month for car insurance, or $125.
Well, there was no cell phones in my day, but if there would have been, I would have had to pay for that too.
I didn't. I never paid for that, right?
Yeah, you ended up once you started making money at Texas Roadhouse, you started giving me $50 or $30 a month for your cell phone bill.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
But anyway, I just kind of passed on those rules to you.
Making money at Texas Roadhouse, I was making tops $150 a week. Tops. That's a good week.
Is that the most you ever made there?
Yes. Maybe 180 or 190.
How long was it that when you were working at Texas Roadhouse before you quit? I know we had lots of discussions about it.
9 months maybe.
Okay. Did you stay there that long?
Yeah. It was almost a year. It was like coming up on a year, I think. I don't know. It could have even been a year.
Did you give them 2 weeks notice?
Yeah. And the last day I had 15 minutes left of my shift at Expo. I'm standing there. Expo is like the people that put like the fucking sour cream and like it gets hectic.
Right.
It's very overwhelming. It's the worst position for me possible in a hectic situation. They're like every server asks you for every sauce they need. And then you have to put everything on the loaded potatoes and everything and all that bullshit. But my guy looks at me and tells me to do something that like no one wants to do ever. Like it's like something very difficult. He tells me to do something and then he goes, "Wait, hold on. You put in 2 weeks in, right?" And I said, "Yeah, today's my last day. I have 10 minutes left." And he said, "Oh, wait, never mind. Just leave." And then he said, "Yeah, just clock out now."
Clock out now.
And he didn't make me do it.
So you were like, "Peace out."
Well, I basically told him no. I said, "I'm not doing that." I said no.
Oh, you did tell him no? I can imagine you saying that. That's funny.
And then they pied me in the face.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, you saw that video.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that. God,
well, they missed. No, I thought I knew it was going to happen because every time someone...
They do that, yeah.
Yeah, so I was looking around.
But you were a good employee for them. You were always...
Oh, yeah, I was the best busboy by far. 100%.
I mean, people called in all that. You never called in or anything.
I tried to call in for prom 2 days or a day before.
You didn't go to prom.
That's why I didn't go to prom. I had to work, too. That was another... I never took off work.
Really?
Yeah.
Dedicated
Ray was trying to get me to go like 2 days before, and she was like,
"She went anyways, didn't she?"
Yeah, with her sister.
Right.
But then I was trying to take off anyway, and then it just didn't happen. But they tried to pie me and they missed, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, they missed!" And next thing you know, they had a second one ready.
That's funny.
And it was all in my face and nose.
Oh my god!
And I was just like drowning in it. It was horrible.
That's funny. That's a good thing to do when somebody leaves a job. I like that.
No, I have a video of it somewhere on my Twitter, I think.
That's funny. I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
So you were serving in college, is what you were saying?
Yeah, I was. As soon as I got to Frostburg, I had to get a job. So I was waitressing. Like the first week, because Frostburg is near Cumberland, so we have relatives up there. So my mom's mom, her family lived out in Cressuptown, and my grandmother was one amazing cook. So I'd go there sometimes on Sunday and eat dinner. And then my other grandparents, they lived in town and they drove a Lincoln and, they were just town people. So they'd pick me up and take me out to dinner.
Yeah.
So I had family there, but I was on campus, but I had to get a job to kind of make my spending, a lot of my spending money.
Yeah.
And so I got a job waitressing at a buffet restaurant that one of my relatives knew the owner, so I got a job waitressing there. My worst moment of that, I had waitress before, so my worst moment is the only thing you had to do at a buffet, all-you-can-eat place, is serve them the damn drinks. How easy, right? Well, I had a big round tray, and it had the tall
You don't
plastic.
make good tips there then, right? I would imagine.
I made decent,
Okay. Keep going,
I mean,
sorry.
for me, I can't remember, but I mean, for there, it was, I might get $5 on a table of 10, I don't remember.
Jesus. Oh, well, that's back in that
It's
day.
back in that day.
That time age. What's the word? Ice age. The
All
ice age
right,
day.
look here. You're close now. I can smack you. So shut up, Cameron. Anyway, but one time I had a tray and I had like iced teas and waters, the restaurant plastic cups, and it just started sliding. And it's going, gone. And like 3 of the drinks just fell right off into the table and right on this guy's leg.
And what do you do? Get pissed off?
No, they were like, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And I maneuvered the tray, and I wasn't used to carrying that many drinks at one time.
Yeah.
Because there was a Bob's Big Boy across from Andrews Air Force Base on Allentown Road and near Forestville, and I waitressed there a lot too. When I was always working when I was in school, my parents did not do the.
How long did you go to college for? 2 years? 3 years?
Around 3 years. And I didn't finish. I didn't get the degree. I just didn't want to. Then after that, I got a job at Piedmont Airlines at BWI Airport. They opened up a hub there, and I started working the gate. Piedmont Airlines had a philosophy that you should cross train. You should do everything that you should do at an airport to know the scope of the job. So I worked the ticket counter. I worked the little jetway and drove it up to the plane. I made gate announcements. I went through the line to try to get you off the plane. Here's $100. Will you get off? You give up your seat?
Later flight.
I also got to work, drive a luggage cart, and then I also got to chalk a plane, bring a plane in. You know how you see people standing out and you bring a plane in?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you chalk it.
You know what's crazy? I figured out about that recently. Planes don't have reverse.
No, they tow them. They pull them out. Yeah. Why would they? They don't need freaking reverse in the air.
I saw a TikTok of it with like millions of views. The comments were, I thought planes had reverse.
Who would think? Why?
Everyone on TikTok thought planes had reverse.
The runways are set up so that they just drive.
Swear. Why would you think that? I didn't know a cart gets...
You don't reverse in the air.
I didn't know they get towed out.
You never... As much as you've flown, you've never seen
I'm
them.
in the fucking seat.
In the fucking seat. Well, you see the white little tow cart, and you...
That's at the front of the wheel, though, under the cockpit. You're never looking over there. You can't even see that.
Well, yeah. So that was kind of fun. So I did that, and then I had the opportunity to be a flight attendant, and at the time, the person I was with was like, my wife's not going to be a flight attendant, and I'm not getting, So I ended up... So I started working at a travel agency. Yeah. Gulliver Travel in Bowie was my first travel agency.
Wait, so you were just in an office after that?
I started selling travel. I was a travel agent, and I did that for a long time. And then I worked my way up. I worked in Greenbelt. To get a raise back in the day, you had to leave one travel agency to go to another to get a raise. Why? No one ever gave you a raise.
Oh, because you.
So I found a job at another one in Greenbelt, and they gave me a little bit of a raise. And then I ended up getting, one of my coworkers left and went to a travel agency in Annapolis. So I followed her there. And then soon after that, they made me a manager, and I opened a travel agency in Bowie. And I actually started it from the bare cement wall. I opened it for the owner.
For the company.
Yeah. So I opened it. And so you basically start, from your credentials, setting up the agency. And then I had 2 employees, and one girl used to sit there and talk on the phone. I had to fire her ass. I was only like 26, and I had to fire her. Her name was Sharon.
How
Sharon,
was
if you're out there. Well, she just wouldn't get it.
Did you warn her?
I was the manager, so I was sitting kind of back, and there were 2 desks up front. She was sitting there, and people would come in, and she'd look around or whatever, and they'd walk in. Hi, yeah, and I'd be, can I help you? Yeah, we're looking, because this is how travel used to be. Oh, yeah, we're looking to plan our vacation. And great. We'll have a seat. We'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. She would find every reason under the book, in the book, to not take a walk-in customer. I was like, what the hell? It was so irritating. So finally I said, Sharon.
Oh, she just wasn't doing her job.
No.
Okay.
No, she was
And
avoiding.
talking on the phone too?
Yeah, she'd get on the phone or whatever. So finally I just said, we need to talk. And I couldn't, I did the right thing. I said, here's what you need to do. You need to, when the customers walk in, they're not always supposed to see me. They need to talk to you too. That's the point of having more people here. So I ended up having to she just wouldn't get it. I don't know what her problem is. I don't know where she is to this day. But I had to let her go. She had every opportunity to correct her behavior. I was a good manager. I said, hey,
thinks you were, though. You know how
Sharon.
People are.
Yeah, but I wasn't that much older than her.
I'm not on her side. I'm just saying her perspective.
Oh, I was getting defensive.
I remember that being my boss.
Yeah, who knows where she is? I don't know. But anyway, so I had to let her go. And then I eventually left that travel agency. And that's when I adopted Austin. I was working there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's around that time. All right.
Adopted Austin. I got a phone call at my desk one day. And this lady goes, there was a baby born. And, because I had talked to her, she had put back in the day, you put ad in the paper, loving couple wanting to adopt. And your grandfather met her because he was fingerprinting her for an adoption at the Waldorf Barrack. And she called me and she talked to me and whatever. And that was like on a Thursday. Hey, her name is Loretta. I don't know where she is either. And she called me and she's like, yeah, I met your dad. He was fingerprinting me, and he said that you might adopt a baby and might be interested, and da-da-da-da, and we chatted. We had a nice conversation. So the following Tuesday...
Was she older?
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, well, she was probably 10 years older than me.
Okay.
Following Tuesday, I get a phone call, and she's like...
It was born?
Hey, Tammy, this is Loretta. And I'm sitting in my office and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. There was a baby born last night. And, I don't want you to think bad of me, but it's a boy and I have two boys and, I'm adopting that little girl. And I can't take a fourth kid. And I told them that, you're my best friend and you're looking to adopt a baby. And do you want him? Do you want me to tell them that you want the baby? And I was like,
holy
all
shit.
Of what, 26 years old and
it's
going,
a little scary.
Oh my God. So I said, yes, tell him we want the baby.
Jesus.
And so we had talked about adoption at that point. So that's how I got Austin. Drove to Michigan 4 days later, had a brand new baby.
At 26.
That's why I'm so anti-reveal, anti-set up anti-buy all pink, buy all blue, because I had a baby in 4 days. I got that baby. I named him driving to Michigan, named him on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, had no prep, did no reveal party, people.
Yeah, it is over the top for the gender reveals. And
yeah, that's a whole, don't get me started on that. I just think it's too much because I don't really think that it's necessary. And especially after going through that, my friends and family, my mom, your grandmother, people were dropping stuff off at the front door, and I used to give baby showers for girlfriends. Mm-hmm. I was the baby shower person. I'd give the baby showers, but we weren't able to have a baby at that time. So that's why I adopted, but I had nothing. There was no room painted, no crib, no nothing. So my girlfriend lent me a bassinet, and baby sleeps at the foot of your bed for a month anyways,
What, like you can kick it off the bed?
No, in a bassinet. Full. In a damn bassinet. Kick it off the bed.
What do you mean?
Bassinet. It's like a
bassinet?
It's like a cradle. A baby cradle.
Put it in your bed?
No, it's on a stand.
Like,
okay,
it's not actually on the bed. It's at the end of it.
Right. Yeah. Or you can put it anywhere at the foot of your bed. You put it. It looks like a oblong laundry basket.
I don't know why my dumbass thought she meant like on the bed.
No. So anyways, I borrowed a bassinet and then we proceeded to buy stuff and get set up out of nowhere. So I'm very anti.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah. So that was it. And then the travel agency, the baby came and I told the owner, I said, I have a baby now, I said, I want to, I'll take like 4 weeks off. And then back then people still smoked a lot in their houses, cigarettes, not many people do that anymore. Well, maybe they do. I don't know.
No, it's not really
a thing anymore, but
I couldn't find younger kids.
I couldn't find daycare for him that nobody nobody smoked in the house. They would say, oh, people smoke in the other part of the house. And so I asked my boss, I said, I can find somebody, but only 4 days a week. Can I just do a 4-day work week? And he said, no. So I said, see you later. And I took in babies and started watching kids for 2 years. Austin's first 2 years of his life, I took in kids to watch. I did like a little mini daycare. You didn't know this.
No.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't know it either?
No.
Yeah. I put an ad in the Marlton Advocate because that's where your grandparents lived. And it was like the little Marlton newsletter.
You were a little hustler, huh?
Oh, man, I know how to make that money.
She's still a hustler.
I'm still a hustler. So I got babies. That's how I met your dad.
Really?
Yeah, because one of the couples that I watched their baby, I ended up going through a divorce in that marriage because he was abusive. So I took Austin and moved out. But before I did that, when I was watching these kids, one of the couples, I was watching their baby. They lived in Marlton and I lived in another community outside of the Marlton. And they called me and said, hey, can you watch our baby? Little baby Christopher. And that was Leslie and Wayne. And they knew your dad from the CIA, and they knew I was going through this divorce, and I'm watching their baby.
Oh, it was like a matchmaking thing.
They had a dinner party and said, hey, we're going to have this guy show up at dinner. Guess what? His ass was an hour and a half late.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah. So he was an hour and a half late, and that's how I met your father, through watching baby. I met your father, got out of that situation, we dated, and then we ended up getting married. And
you had Blair, and then you had me.
Yeah, that's right.
Weren't we
Blair,
like huge babies?
You were. And by the way, ladies, I went through infertility. I went through in vitro. I did everything to have babies. So I want people to have hope. That's one of my things. I had in vitro fertilization before I adopted Austin. It did not work. Thousands of dollars even then. All kinds of procedures at downtown Washington, D.C. at George Mason Hospital, I think it was. And, so then I got Austin. So that's how that works. But then when I got married to your dad and we decided to have a baby, I had a miscarriage.
Oh, yeah.
First,
I remember that.
Before Blair.
You told me that before.
I am not one of
Didn't
those.
I eat my twin? Did I eat it in the womb?
Ew. No. First a minute. God, wait the hell. Hold the hell up.
I ate it in the womb.
Cameron, you dumb.
All right, that was a
what
joke.
the? Oh
it
my
was
God.
a joke.
No. Wait.
I love how y'all take that serious.
All I want. Oh my God.
No, Mom, that's an office joke.
Oh, it is?
Dwight Schrute says he had a twin and he ate it. That's why he's so powerful.
The Office. I know you love that show. Holy shit. Holy freaking
I love how
shit.
y'all just looked at me like I was crazy. All right, keep going. Sorry.
So I had a miscarriage before Blair. So here I am thinking, okay, I can't have kids. But what I want the girls to know who might be watching this is
there's girls. We've said there's only like, I was like, dude, there's probably like 5% of girls that watch this. And the whole podcast was girls' comments.
Well, let me tell you something. I went through infertility. I went through adopting a baby and then, remarried. And my first, incident was a miscarriage. And I'm a cup half full person. I didn't go through the mourning, grieving. It didn't mean that I didn't care. I just didn't dwell on it because
that makes it worse.
Things. I'm not that way. I just don't believe in that. I believe that if that baby was supposed to be here, it would be here.
Yeah.
And it happened for a reason. If oh my gosh, the worst thing in my life is my miscarriage. Miscarriages happen a lot more than women know. Women miscarry and don't even know they're pregnant. So it happens a lot. But I want people to know that sometimes women make a BFD of that. And I'm not making light of it. What I'm saying is don't dwell on it because I had been through a lot. And you get what you're supposed to get in life. If you get babies, you get babies. If you don't get babies, you don't. It's if you get a husband, you get you get a house, it's anything.
Yeah.
I just don't think dwelling on the negative or the poor pitiful me. You're barking up the wrong tree.
How long would you give them? Like a week or two?
To mourn about it?
Be kind of sad about it for
No, I think you know,
month?
you feel it, and you know, and you probably about a month.
Okay.
You know, but not talking about it constantly. I didn't do any of that. You know, but I think when people dwell on that, it's bad for them. Dwell on anything, it's bad for you. But anyway, so then all of a sudden they said, wait this amount of time, and I got pregnant with Blair. He was 9 pounds 3 ounces.
Oh, so I was heavier than him. I was
yeah.
I was 9.8.
You were 9.8. I was in push mode for like 5 hours. My sister and my mom were standing there crying. Your dad was just jibber jabbering to somebody. I was like, pay attention. And my sister started crying.
Jibber jabbering, like
just chatting with people, like not really paying attention till it really got serious.
Okay.
Because Blair wouldn't, you know,
Come out.
My sister was crying.
Rhonda?
Yeah, his head was going in and out, and he was just, yeah. So it was a long.
You didn't want to come out, huh?
He had to be induced. So did you. Neither one of you would come out. So then 3 years later, you're born. Your ass is 9 pounds 8 ounces.
Yeah.
You came out a little bit easier because he had paved the way. Thank the Lord. And I pushed. But you still didn't come out. They had to induce me.
How long was both like Blair's and then mine? Like total?
Total what?
You were in labor for?
Oh, shoot. With Blair, they induced me at 9 a.m. He wasn't born till that night. And I was pushing and pushing and pushing.
Jesus.
You were quicker.
See,
you were quicker.
Okay.
You were quicker, but it still was hours. But you were overdue. So I'm sitting at the travel agency making travel reservations for people at another travel agency in Waldorf that used to be near...
Which grocery store?
You remember where Shoppers Food Warehouse... Yeah, Little Caesars Pizza in Waldorf?
It's
Little
there?
Caesars Pizza. It was right next to Little Caesars Pizza.
Wingstop, Little Caesars, Panda Express.
There you go. So I'm sitting there, and people couldn't see the belly. And you are, I mean, Blair was, he was basketball.
Wait, people couldn't see me?
I wasn't pregnant with you there. I was pregnant with Blair there.
Okay.
So people walk in and they couldn't see, and then I'd stand up, and they're like, "Ooh, when's your baby doing?" And then I was like, and I stood up, and all of a sudden, this huge basketball.
There was high in your belly.
Yeah, and I was like, I was due like last Friday, and I was still at work. See, that's another thing. Women, I gotta lay down. You know, I worked.
You worked.
I worked my butt off. I didn't have any choice. I had another kid. I'd drop him off at daycare and go to work. And then you came along.
Damn.
9 pounds 8 ounces. I was still working with 2 other kids, driving I opened another travel agency for another guy, drove all the way from Hughesville to Upper Marlboro, dropped Blair off at one daycare, Austin off at one daycare, and you were like bun in the oven, huge.
I was ready.
No, you weren't. They had to induce your ass too.
I was born ready.
Shit, you were huge. But see, you know what's funny though? You were big, and Blair was big, but you're 6'6", 6'1". You're a big guy.
That's how babies work. Every baby.
No, Blair was 9'3", but he's only like 5'5".
Well, that's just height.
But he's a smaller person.
Yeah, but it's like years
but
later.
Some people say if you're 9 pounds something ounces, you're going to be big.
A big person?
Not true. You took more after your father, and he took more after me.
Yeah, I mean, it was just he just got the bad height gene.
Bad height gene is being.
I mean, under 5'8" for a guy is a little short, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're 6'3", 4". What do you say?
If you're under 5'8", it's kind of sad.
It's not sad.
Well, it's like
You need to get some shoes to elevate you or something.
Well,
Like
no,
Prince?
it's just like it definitely hits at your your ego a little bit if you're under 5'8".
Really?
If you can't find a girl that's shorter than you or something,
Because would you date somebody that was shorter than you?
I mean,
you would never date anyone shorter than you.
I don't. I dated a couple guys in high school were about Blair's height.
Okay, but you were in high school. It's different.
Shorter than you or what?
They weren't shorter than me.
That's what the question was.
The crazy bit. The crazy bit.
Shorter than you.
Anyway,
But you still haven't answered.
I don't know. It depends on the person. Anyway, there's somebody for everybody. Liar, liar, pants on viruses. Anyway, you were born, and then, you had that disease, and then I had to nurse you.
Wait, they don't know about that.
Oh.
At all.
Wow.
I don't
so,
think I've
ladies,
ever said this publicly.
here we go again about being cup half full. So I'd gone through all that BS. My first marriage ended because he was abusive, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I got out of it, and I had Austin, and had to just keep my spirits up. And then that's when I remarried married
You
your
were
dad.
at the part where I got a disease. Why'd you go back to that?
But I'm saying there's a lot of stuff happening that I had already been through under the age of 5.
Okay.
Is my point.
Okay.
So anyway, so you're born.
Yes.
And you're this big 9-pound, 8-ounce baby. And of course, I'm thinking you're perfect. Right, Cameron, aren't you perfect? Mm-hmm. All babies are perfect. And they come out and they're wonderful. Not. And so here you are, healthy, I'm thinking. And then all of a sudden you start having this like throw up stuff. And they thought it was your reflux, whatever. And they tested that and went through all this stuff and couldn't figure it out. Then your grandparents happened to be in town, and
I was bloated, right?
Yeah. When you look at a newborn baby, their bellies always look big, weird, like a weird shape at first, But your belly, my mom was like, gosh, I think his belly looks puffy. And I looked too, and I was like, yeah, I've been looking at it, and I'm not sure, they haven't figured out what's going on. So I called the doctor at the time. Shout out Dr. Satan Shabra in Waldorf.
Didn't he basically
he looked
figured it
low
out?
Key, he did this to me. So we're all there. Austin, I called and I said, and Sharon was a nurse, shout out Sharon at Shabra and Sate's office. I called and I said, Sharon, Cameron's belly looks puffy. She goes, just come now. And because they didn't know what's wrong with you. So then finally we come in, I come to the front, they take me straight back. Your grandmother's in the van with Austin and Blair. Mm-hmm. Take me straight back with you. Dr. Sate comes in, and he's looking at you, and he measures your belly, and he comes back in the room. He goes, and he's pressing and pressing. Comes back in the room after 5 minutes. And I was like, oh my God. And he goes, in his East Indian accent, something doesn't jive. I called Children's Hospital. You have to go now. Do you want an ambulance, or would you like?
Oh, I know you were.
Would you like to drive? Would you like to drive him? But they're waiting on you.
What did you do? Did you drive me?
I said, I know how to get there because my grandfather, my mom's dad, had been at the Washington Hospital Center because his old country ass rolled a tractor on himself and crushed.
And he was there at the same time?
No, he was there a few years before. And the Washington Hospital Center and Children's Hospital in D.C. are right next to each other. I knew how to get there.
Okay.
So I was like, no, I'm going. So here's the van full of everybody. Your dad's at work.
And you just told Grandma that they said something doesn't jive.
Yeah.
Going to the hospital.
Dr. Sate's words were, something doesn't jive, and you have to go now.
It's my boy right there.
Bam!
Didn't I see him until I was 18?
Yes.
Too?
I took a picture of you sitting in your last appointment at the doctor's office.
I'll put it on the screen. That's my boy right there. He saved my life, basically.
Basically, because you had something called...
I would have had the bag.
Well, you had something called... Well, you always have it once you have it, but it's called Hirschsprung's disease.
I always have it? That's sketchy.
And it's... Well, you had surgery to correct it, but I would have never known.
Hirschsprung's disease.
Hirschsprung's disease.
Spell it.
HIRSCHPSP.
It is a weird word.
RUNG. Hirschsprung's.
If you asked me to spell it, I would have said it so wrong.
HIRSHSPRUNGS. Hirschsprung's disease. Anyways, you had that. We didn't know. They rushed us to the hospital. They're like, they took you back. Meanwhile, ladies, I was nursing, so you know what happens. You have to go to the bathroom. You have to keep pumping. And, and when you're emotional and you're pregnant and you're nursing, it elevates your glands and things. I was just so upset. So finally they come out and say, we think that he has, it's called Hirschsprung's disease. And they explained it. And this is late into the night by then. And I was like, oh my God, we have to admit him. And you can stay. I slept next to you for 5 or 6 days. I never left. Like I just slept
That's
in
my
the
girl right there.
That's right. And it was like no mattress. It was like you think Children's Hospital, it was like as big as a
Was I bitching? Was I in pain?
Yeah, your belly was distended. What that means, what it is that your poop doesn't come all the way out and you become septic and your intestines are backing up with bowel.
Jesus.
And you were going to the bathroom.
That's
why
sketchy. Now,
that's
if I ever
why they don't like to let babies out of the hospital until they poop because they want to make sure it's all working.
Because of me, it was a breakthrough case.
No, it's always been that way. You did not break through. Actually, you are in a medical book though, because the doctor that performed it. So we went through this long process. We stayed there.
I got surgery.
They cleaned you out. They wouldn't let you eat for 5 days. So ladies,
I was
I'd
pissed
hang
off
in there.
probably. I know I could not eat for 5. I was probably
crying.
bitching.
No, you were just getting fed by an IV and it was so sad. And I was still continuing to pump the milk because they said it'll be better for you to do it. So I had to push through that. It was painful and whatever. So I pushed through so that I could, because of your sensitive stomach. But what they told me was, you may never potty train.
That's what they said.
Because what it is, the nerves don't develop all the way down.
So they were saying I was going to be shitting my pants for the rest of my life?
They said that some kids that have this don't potty train until they're 7.
Oh,
Look, I was devastated.
Until later.
Yeah.
Oh, so
but potty train till 7, like what?
Yeah, that's going to be horrible.
And it doesn't mean that you didn't have the cognitive ability to do
it's
it.
the
but
nerves.
The nerves.
Yeah.
So they had this doctor. We were so blessed because the doctor at Children's Hospital had performed what was called a pull-through surgery. And you were his like 13th patient. So your lucky number is really 13. What they do is they took you into surgery. They prepped me. And what they said was, look, this surgery is going to take like 5 hours. We go in there, we go into the rectum. And this is like 2 months after I got you out of the hospital because we had to let everything heal a little. They pulled down the intestines.
I don't need to know this shit. This
want me
shit
to
gives
tell
me the
the people
heebie-jeebies.
this?
Sure, go ahead.
You pull down the intestines and they have the ability to test the nerves as they're pulling it down to find active nerves because then they...
My stepfather's behind the camera with a gun right now, pointing it at the wall.
Yeah. In the gun safe.
He's like
there.
this with a fucking rifle.
And I'm trying to be serious. So they're pulling down the intestines, and as they do it while they're in surgery, they're making sure they find active nerves. They cut 17 inches of your intestine out, pulled it all the way down to the rectum, and re-sewed it.
All right. The sewing part, just like everything.
And
I
then
had stitches in my ass that dissolved.
in the inside, yeah.
It freaks me out.
And so then if you look up that your bowel system has a reservoir and everything's very intricate, more than you think. And that's how you stop and start going to the bathroom. It's very intricate.
I don't need to know this.
But guess what? You could not go to daycare. You couldn't get sick. They did not want you getting a virus. You were very susceptible to bacterial viruses. So I had to keep you away from daycare. So guess what I had to do?
Put me up for adoption, dude.
Guess what I had to do?
What?
You know, I was working at the travel agency. I had to
started a daycare again?
No. I had to drop Blair off at one, Austin off at the other, take your ass to work with me because it was a remote office. So I had to sit in that office with you and work when you were when I had to go back to work.
Oh, shit, okay.
I was still nursing. So there were times that I was on my headset on the phone just doing travel reservations and I had you in my lap nursing at the same time.
Oh,
working.
damn.
Yeah. I mean, so I had to push through some shit.
Yeah.
But I did it because I needed to work, but you couldn't be in a daycare and be exposed to germs.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want but guess what? You had no incidents. So the doctor used your case in his medical journal thing. What's it called, Wendell, when they write it up? American Medical Association, because you had no incidents. You didn't have any. And guess what? You potty trained right on time at 2 years old. Yay, Cameron. I think it was the pennies in the bank. Do you remember that? Instead of giving kids candy, I would gave you guys like a little bank, and every time you went potty, you put a little penny in it, or a little nickel, whatever I had. You get to put money in the bank.
How was I?
2.
Dude, that just like unlocked a memory in my head that I have a faint memory of a piggy bank.
Yeah. So you would get
Maybe
money.
I do remember a little bit
when you
of that.
sat on the potty. You get money. I did it with all of you. You put a little penny in the bank. or a nickel, whatever I had. So yeah. So then that's how you came, and then finally, yeah.
Do you remember when Blair sliced his ear off?
At the skate park. You were with your dad that weekend because we were divorced, and he had you. And I was like, oh my God, I get a phone call that he's at the emergency room because Blair's ear is flapping, hanging down.
Yeah.
Is at the skate park.
It was like halfway hanging off, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't
a
see
bad
it
day.
hanging off, but what they did
Oh,
is,
I did. And I'm the first one that saw it.
So evidently it was torn like back here all the way down.
Apparently this red behind my ear is eczema.
Oh.
I
I'll
Googled
look at it.
Swear.
Well, you might have eczema. I have
Swear.
eczema.
Do you have red behind your ear?
I don't think so.
Dude, I Googled it. It's eczema behind my ear. I've always wondered what it was recently. Okay, but he fucked his ear up.
Yeah, so it was flapping off, but they glued it. That's the funny thing. They didn't have to put stitches. They glued
That's
his
crazy.
They glued his freaking ear
That's
back
why it's
on.
all weird, right?
Yeah, Blair's ear is weird.
He was going down this hill.
I wasn't there, so
You don't know the story?
you told me a long time ago. Go ahead.
There was a railing to grind at the bottom of a double loop or double bump hill. It's
Yeah.
a little double bump hill.
Yeah.
And you go to double bump hill and there's a railing at the bottom. For some reason, I don't know why there's a weird railing right at the bottom of this. And he
At
went
the
down
skate
this
park in White Plains.
White Plains, Maryland.
Yeah.
That I fucked my knee up later.
Yes,
in
yes.
life.
Yes.
The one the vlog of me fucking my knee up, boys. All right, he's goes down. He was too fast. He falls at the bottom of the hill, and the railing just goes phew, like he falls right next to the railing head first.
Flipped it, and it sliced the ear right along.
Yeah, and I saw it
outline.
happen. I was like, "Oh shit, you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he gets back up, starts skating again. And then
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Starts skating again, and then he goes. He's like, I saw him like doing this, like I think he felt blood or something, and I went, Blair, your fucking ears bleeding.
Oh my God.
And then we just got there within minutes, and we had to leave. And this is when you paid $5 each to get in there, or whatever it was.
Your dad was probably pissed that he paid that money.
I think they refunded us. The lady was like, "Oh my God, go! Here's your money." Yeah. So that was the story of that. Remember when I got my arm burned?
Cameron, that was another traumatic thing.
Well,
So
I was walking
it was
towards
another
the bathroom
wait.
and I got
First,
burned up.
it was another incident where you were with your father. So when Blair's ear got ripped off, you were visitation with your father.
It was bad luck. It was
and then,
not.
I know
it
it's
was
not your father's fault.
Blair
but
was
anyways,
skating, and
and
I was
then-
just walking to the bathroom.
at Applebee's. I
Yeah.
will never eat there again. Them
I've
assholes.
eaten there.
You have? How can you? You're disrespecting yourself
No,
to
it
eat
was
there.
weird. I went there last year when I came here for Christmas.
You actually went to the same restaurant?
Because there was, I've gone there a few times.
Their food sucks.
It is not that good.
Oh my
But
God,
look,
it's
listen,
horrible.
It was open late, and we wanted to sit down somewhere with Jake, Johnny, and me and Ray. And I was in there last year, and I was like tripping. I was like, well, "This is weird. This is freaking
You
me
had
out."
PTSD?
I went pee, and I was like walking
Whoa.
on the wall, like looking around.
Tell them what happened.
I was walking to the fucking bathroom, and this lady walks out with hot coffee and breaks.
Well, here's the problem. Applebee's design, the kitchen came out, and the bathroom ramp was on the same place. So the lady had a tray.
and you never got no bag.
It was like $2,800. I put it in your savings account and used it for your
You never
car.
got no big bag, though.
No.
Come on. I had third-degree burns down my whole arm. If there's a lawyer,
It was right here.
comment down below how much money you could have got me. If you got
Well,
me,
you know what they said?
what?
Because
there was no scarring.
No
I don't give a
scarring.
shit. I'm
And-
permanently scarred in my head.
and you weren't a female.
What? I wasn't a female.
When a female is burnt, it's more of a
well,
cosmetic
damn, I could act
hardship.
gay or something.
Cameron, don't say that bullshit. What happened was the very, very poor design
like
of the
that one?
restaurant, and the attorney argued that it was their negligence because the bathrooms came out where the kitchen ramp was. She had a little pot of hot water with hot tea,
And she braked and it fell on me.
and it went on your arm
No,
from.
it was this way.
It was yeah, and so it came up, and you were in the middle of your little baseball season.
I ripped that shirt off quicker than you would have ever seen me rip a shirt off.
I wasn't there.
I was screaming, and they started putting paper towels on my shit.
I got another call from your father saying, Cameron's been burned. We're on the way to the emergency room. So then
They were
I
trying to
get
put me in
there.
an ambulance, and Dad wouldn't let me go in it.
He wouldn't?
He was like, "I'm not paying that."
What the frick?
Never said that.
He wouldn't.
I'm pretty sure.
We had freaking health insurance.
Yeah, but it costs you money, doesn't it? Like $1,000. That's what my knee thing was.
You're more important than $1,000.
He called me about my knee, saying, "I just found out. You didn't know about this? Or I fucked my knee up? I took the ambulance ride.
Yeah.
He didn't. I never told him. He got the bill.
Well, that's why he's getting paid back for that dumb shit.
He said, "Why do I have an ambulance bill?" And I said, "Oh, I fucked my knee up." But yeah, I went in the car.
You're, you're 8-year-old, 9.
This was when we were in the townhouse, so I was probably 9.
9-year-old kid, your arms all burnt
9.
up. 8 or 9, all burnt up, and he wouldn't let you ride an ambulance?
I don't think I did. No, I'm like 99% sure I went in his car.
He took you in the car.
I was fine with it, I think.
You're a kid.
Like my vitals weren't. I wasn't
your
like...
parents...
It's not like my vitals were. It was just I was burnt the fuck up, 3rd-degree burns up my arm. So
well, that was the other thing. Your whole arm wasn't 3rd degree. There were spots that were worse that were 3rd degree.
Oh.
And spots that were 2nd degree.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But,
I thought the whole bitch was 3rd degree.
No, there were spots, and that was the other health. I mean, somebody sipped a hot coffee at McDonald's.
50K. They got $5 million.
Right. So then here's what happened. Because I went and got you.
If I would have known this back then, I would have been throwing a fit.
I did.
No, I'm saying like I would have like overdid. I would have acted. I would have got a bag.
Okay. So here's the problem. I took you to Children's Hospital in DC. I came and got you because I was like, okay, obviously he can't handle
I did
these
the little
kids,
cow
everything.
skin, right?
They had a new procedure where they lay this like a healing
that shit felt
skin.
weird.
Healing skin on your arm. They had to clean your arm. That was one of the most traumatic things I've been through is watching you cry when they were cleaning they were scraping your burn.
That shit hurt so bad.
I mean, I had tears
doctor.
in my eyes and I was just, I mean, you were like.
This little evil doctor was
He wasn't evil.
Was scraping my dead skin off with like a little sponge. And it hurt so bad.
Blair just called.
Okay.
Hang on
Good.
one second.
That's fine. You know how many interruptions I get normally on the podcast? I get like 10.
Hey, we just stopped the podcast. I got you on speakerphone. What's going on?
Not much. I was just calling to let you know that Jason tested positive.
Oh no.
Yeah. So.
Shit. Oh, the burn story. So
burn
long story with
Whatever.
that is basically the skin that it peeled off like a scab, and it peeled off so nicely that you could barely see that you were burned. So because there was no
Should have got a bag, at least $25K.
since there was no like scarring.
That should have paid for my college, goddammit.
Well, the $2,800 that you got went towards your car and some of the college. I mean, it was nothing. But yeah, so that was that.
All right.
So, but what else you want to know? I mean, that's just a segment of.
There's a bunch of little things that we could talk about, but it's probably a good start to just have this, I think.
Then,
What?
I don't remember either one of you getting hurt again with your dad. I mean, it seemed like everything always happened,
Blair had a few racing accidents, but nothing serious, right?
Yeah, he was never airlifted.
Yeah.
From the motocross track at Bud's
I remember
Creek.
seeing him hit one of the tabletops at Bud's Creek and just let go of the bike, and I was like, oh, he's
gone. Yeah. Yeah, he was never hurt badly or anything.
He tried to clear one of the 60-foot tabletops or something on a 65.
Mm-hmm. Well, he would get on when we joined Southern Maryland Dirt Riders, he would try to get on a 250. Your dad said he could have a 250, and he got on somebody's 250 and tried to ride it.
I remember that.
I mean, I was like, no, he can't ride a 250. He's only like 4'8". Yeah, your dad had got a 250. Anyways, we're not going to get into all of that. We had little disagreements, but Blair was a natural on the bike, so he had
no fear.
He had no fear, and
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous for him.
You're not prepared.
Yeah, and
he didn't race. He didn't ride enough to have no fear. He rode, but it wasn't like kids that ride every weekend should have no fear.
When he got on the Honda 50 when he was like 4, it was nothing for him. he naturally.
I was nervous as shit riding dirt bikes
Yeah,
as a big
you were.
kid.
You had fun with it, but you got nervous about it. Yeah. You and Jared, woof. That was funny.
Jared would just fall over, huh?
Yeah. Jared is his stepbrother.
He was always the stiff little fucker.
Yeah.
In any
Jared
sport.
we were riding 4-wheelers one time in West Virginia. He goes off the track. You remember that?
Oh my God.
At the Dyers. And he goes off the track and just falls sideways.
I was right behind him when that happened.
Yeah. It was you, Jared, Justin.
I remember one time in our neighborhood at
Yeah.
Windsor Drive, we can say the road now.
Yeah, we can
Windsor
say that.
Drive.
Yeah.
We would ride around and the old people.
Oh,
would get
the old
pissed.
people next to us were bitching all the
But
time.
we would go to
about you
those
guys.
cornfields, and I was on one
Yeah.
of the trails, and I somehow got pushed off the trail and went right into a tree and split my knee open. Remember that?
Yeah, bleeding everywhere.
I split my knee wide
What
open.
happened,
There's
Cameron?
a scar.
You still have a scar?
Okay, it's gone.
I don't know. You get too much damn hair
That
on
right
your
there.
legs to see.
See it?
Let me see.
It's like a little white scar.
That's crazy.
Split my shit wide open.
Jeez. Yeah, it was a run for my money having 3 boys. I mean, I'm kind of glad I had 3 boys. I mean, y'all were boys. No periods, no hormone change. I mean, Blair got to be a little badass in the middle. We won't go into details. He got a little.
Why can't we talk about it?
I don't want to put all his business out there, but he was a little hustler for a while.
They're going to know what that means when you say hustler.
I'll already take that out. Take that part out. Yeah, he gave me a run for my yeah. And then Austin with his antics. I can't give out too much personal information. Yeah.
I was going to do a Patreon one, but we don't have time but yeah, we're just going to do the mom reacts. Cause, those are more important than the Patreon one.
Yeah. So, and then life went on and, now I'm remarried and having
There's way more little stories, but
we got a shit ton of stories.
Yeah,
But
probably can't fit it in this too much.
No, it's a lot. I don't know how long this will come out to because we've had a couple bathroom breaks.
It's at an hour 20 right now, but it's probably going to be edited down to maybe 55 minutes, I would guess.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that in the end, everything, I think the biggest thing is
everything happens for a reason.
That's right. You have to look at the positive side, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other really story that's probably a really big deal too is the fact that because Austin's adopted, that's how I found my skin cancer. Because of Austin. Because
I forgot you
forgot that?
went through that too.
Yeah, I went through that too. So basically, Austin's, I knew very little about his birth parents, but I met them and everything. But any family history, medical history I didn't have. So he had a lot of moles. He has moles and I didn't have moles. So I made a dermatology appointment for him. And I was on the phone and I said, hey, I want to bring my son. I said, he's got a lot of moles. I don't have them. He's adopted. I think Austin was like 12 or something. I said, him around there, I don't know, maybe older. And I said, he just needs to be seen. So they're like, oh, okay. Do you see a dermatologist? And I said, no. Well, you should, probably have a checkup. So they make me an appointment.
I haven't gone there in a year.
Well, that's not good because you already had something removed.
I've had 3 things removed.
Okay.
My neck.
We'll have a conversation. That just opened a big fat can of worms right there.
I'll just go to one in LA.
Yeah, you will go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No discussion. No, I don't have fucking time.
I have time.
I know you do. You
Yeah.
will. Okay.
Yeah.
That's important. That's your life. Melanoma. Yeah. Okay. So what happened was get in there, take Austin to the doctor. I had 2 spots on the top of my left foot, on the top of my foot. And they were like, I think we're going to sample these. So they scraped them both. And one was in situ melanoma, the first stage of skin cancer, like not just benign. It was in situ melanoma. So I had to have surgery and I had 17 stitches on the top of my foot. They removed both spots. And I was awake for it. I didn't know that shit was going to go down. They just numbed my foot and I could feel them pressing and digging in my foot, taking the margins out. And then they sent me to an eye doctor because melanoma also gets behind your eyeball. And that's a sign of, cancer has traveled. And so I did a lot of sun in the sun as a kid and too much sun exposure, and that caused it. So if I hadn't taken Austin to the doctor because of moles, melanoma doesn't, your grandmother went to the doctor and said, yeah, I'm getting a checkup because evidently it runs in the family. And she told the doctor, yeah, I want to, get a checkup. My daughter had melanoma. And she said, oh my God, when did she pass? That's how deadly it is. She assumed I was dead. Ain't that some shit? Mom's like, she's still alive.
Jesus.
Melanoma shows no
bad.
mercy. Yeah. I work with a girl.
Damn, I'm making an appointment.
I told you, brother. I worked with a girl at the last travel agency that I ran in Upper Marlboro for this guy, and Jennifer, and I went to her wedding, her and Brian's wedding, and she ended up having 3 kids. We kind of didn't keep in touch, but I found out later she died of melanoma. Wow. Skin cancer. And she was just as sweet as she could be. Her dad and your pappy, your grandfather, worked together, state police. Small world. But she passed. So don't go in those tanning beds. Don't bake your skin. It's not worth it.
Goes in those tanning beds.
It's not worth it. Skin cancer is, and if you do a lot of tanning and you don't get a regular dermatology appointment, you are risking your life. I mean, it's serious.
Yeah.
So basically, Austin saved my life.
Low key.
Low key for sure.
Yeah.
I mean.
And then mine, because I was not born.
Yeah. True. And then I took you to the dermatologist, and you had that spot removed. This. I think it was on that, wasn't it on that thigh over there? Your left thigh? The spot?
This and this. Maybe I had 2.
Anyways.
And my friend slapped this when I had stitches on it in class, and you got called because of it.
Yeah. So it's no joke, people. So yeah, I've been through some stuff. That's why I say, yeah, look on the bright side. Ew. Stay positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yep.
It's true.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. If you want Mama to come on the podcast again, just comment. Let me know.
We have a lot.
We'll do it.
We got a lot of shit to talk about. But
love you, boys. Patreon.com/CUFBOYS for bonus episodes.
That's it. Love you guys. Thanks for everything. It's been
also,
cool.
There might be another tier on the Patreon right now. I don't know if I'm going to do it by now, but we're going to do uncut reactions as like a cheap Patreon tier now. So if you want to see like any reaction we do ever uncut, we usually record for like 10 to 15 minutes for one music video, but I edit down like to half of that.
Yeah, you edit down all of me talking.
There's gonna be maybe like a $3.50 tier or something around there for that if you want to do that. So yeah,
that'll be cool. That'll be fun. Maybe this COVID
very cheap tier.
This COVID thing will tamper down a little bit, and we can get on a plane. And
I'm gonna come back in February or March.
Oh yeah, we can talk some more then. So,
all right, love you guys.
Thanks for everything, all the support.